Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Echale Podcast. My name is Jose Quintero, and today there's no guest. It's just me, myself, and I. And I just want to go ahead and wish you guys a happy new year. If this is the first time that you are listening to the podcast, Echale Podcast, welcome. My name is Jose Quintero. I'm a radio host and podcaster of Echale Podcast. This is my third year of doing podcasting, and this would be, I think, my second year actually doing a podcast. So typically we have guests here, and typically if I do solo dolo, the background is blue light or red light. Red, obviously, because of Echale Podcast. But today, since we're going to be talking about money, I wanted the background a little bit green. So let's go ahead and get started, because 2024, I want you guys to be fit and rich. All right, so SR, super fit. Wait, what? SR, super rich, and SF, super fit. All right, so I want to go ahead and start this podcast and say, if you don't follow us on TikTok, make sure you guys follow us on TikTok at Echale Podcast. If you guys don't follow us on Instagram, make sure you guys follow us on Instagram at Echale Podcast. Literally the same thing. And then my own personal at Jose Quintero TV. People ask me, why TV if you work in radio? Because I started off in YouTube and that's what was available, so I just kept it that way. You know, if I try to change it to Jose Quintero FM, like it's just no. Just follow Jose Quintero TV. So today I'm gonna give you guys 5 finance tips and 5 fit tips. All right, so let's get super rich. I had to write them down, and I think I'm going to do a bonus one, and I want to go through them quick because we also have questions from you guys that I posted on Echale Podcast Instagram, and then I also posted it on my broadcast channel on my own personal Instagram account. So make sure you guys follow that. So yes, I'm going to be reading off my phone. So first tip that I want to give you, well, my own personal, of course. I just want to go ahead and reiterate, I am not your financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. So if you're actually seeking financial help, please seek a fiduciary financial advisor. All right. And then I am a certified personal trainer, but I'm not a registered dietitian. So if you have any high cholesterol, diabetes, or any specific dietary needs, I am not going to, I can't help you guys out because that's beyond my scope of knowledge. So definitely reach out for medical advice. But I'm just going to give you my tips for 2024 to stay rich and stay fit. All right. So the very first one that I'm going to give you guys in terms of finance, and in no particular order must you do these, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, open up a high yield savings account. There are so many high yield savings accounts right now that are giving so much return on your investments. They're at 4 to 5%, almost at like 5.25%. What does this mean? Your regular savings account at Wells Fargo, Citibank, Chase, they're offering you a low interest rate, okay? So that means they're offering you 0.01%. That means for every $1,000, you're probably earning, I don't know, $1 a year or so. I don't even know if I did my math right. All right, cool. But there are accounts that if you have money saved in that account, like a high yield savings account, they're going to give you a higher interest rate. And I'm just going to go ahead and give you an example because I'm a visual learner as opposed to like an auditory learner. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, make sure you go to the YouTube channel and check out the image that I'm going to post, because I'm going to share, let's see. All right. So for example, I have American Express. This isn't sponsored or anything of that sort. I just personally like American Express. So that's where I have my high yield savings account. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I currently have a balance of $4,023.15. I don't know if you guys can see. Okay, cool. All right. So if you guys saw that, that's the balance. I'm earning APY, that's annual percentage yield, of 4.35%. That means I get an interest payment. They pay me to have that money on a monthly basis. That's what they give me, all right? So this month, January 7th, I earned $13.38. I'm going to show you guys in the camera. I don't know if you guys can see. Let me see if I can zoom in. It says, all right, January 7th, interest payment. Okay, that's what it says. I'm showing it on the camera. That's why if you're listening to this, head on over to Echale Podcast YouTube. And then it says $13.38. That's just for having money in my savings account. It's as simple as that. That's why I always recommend people to open up a high yield savings account. That's just one of them. All right. Pay off your credit card debt is tip number 2. So many of these credit cards are now charging an interest rate of 23 to 30%. That means for every $100 that you have, they're charging you $20 to $30 per year. Per year that you have to pay them as long as you have that balance. So if you have credit card balance, whatever type of debt that you have, pay off your credit card first. Please do so because it's just killing you. All right? So you're not going to get rich if you have a credit card balance. Whatever the case may be, start off with your credit card debt, then move over to either student loan debt or your car payment debt. All right. Let me see. Tip number 3, have an emergency fund. Once you pay off your credit card debt, make sure you have an emergency fund. You never know when emergency is going to happen. For example, I had to go ahead and change my tires this past weekend and it hurt like a mother. I had to pay about $1,000 for all 4 tires because I drive a lot. I drive from Fontana all the way to Burbank every single day. In 2 years, my car has about 60,000 miles. Those tires have been through it, let me tell you. And then for those who are not in Southern California, it's about to be rainy season. So that means it's about to be really, really wet. And I'm not trying to hydroplane because I have hydroplaned in the past. Not in my current car, but when I first started driving, and that shit is scary, all right? So that was my little emergency, and I'm glad I had money in an emergency fund in order to pay for that. And it was so funny because I went to go change the tires, and they're like, hey, it's gonna be $1,000. Would you like to pay with pay monthly installments? And I'm like, no, I got the cash. I look Mexican and whatnot, but that doesn't mean I don't have the money to pay off my current debt, right? So obviously that emergency fund for me, for example, I had it in my high yield savings account. And thank God I had that high yield savings account and I just pulled the money out and paid for that expense. All right, tip number 4, automation. Automation is key. So what does automation mean? That means every time you get paid, every week or every 2 weeks, every month, some of your money goes into a different account. And that is automated. That means you already told your bank, whether it be Chase, Wells Fargo, et cetera, one of the main banks, or it could be like Charles Schwab. Hey, I want $100 to bi-weekly to go to this other savings account, then this other savings account, or I want $100 extra to go and pay for my car. And I guess the biggest way to explain it would be to let you guys know what I do. So I have Wells Fargo as my main bank. That's where I get deposited my check every single 2 weeks. Then I have Charles Schwab, which is sort of like an extra savings / checking account because that's the card that I use when I travel, because I love Charles Schwab because when you go to ATMs, they don't charge you ATM fees. And then I have the American Express high yield savings account, right? And then I have Capital One, which is where my my car loan is at. All right, so bear with me. I have Wells Fargo. I tell Wells Fargo every 2 weeks put $75 in my high yield savings account. So that's already $150 that goes in there. And I also tell Wells Fargo, hey, once a month put an extra $100 in my high yield savings account. And this is all automated, so then I forget, and the balance that I have in my Wells Fargo account, that's what I get to use, I guess, to buy groceries, et cetera. But at least I know that I'm doing myself a service for the long run, that I'm gonna have a savings account. Else I'm putting it away, I'm not even seeing it, and it's helping me out so much because then I go back and voila, I have $4,000 and I've been accruing interest that they're paying me just to keep it in there. And it's a safe emergency fund. And then obviously, as time goes by, it's going to increase. So then I tell my Wells Fargo, hey, pay an extra $200 a week to my car payment. Like, because obviously I pay my monthly car payment, but I'm trying to pay it off faster. So there's that. And then to Charles Schwab, it just deposits $50 once a month. So I'm like, all right, cool. So whenever I travel, I'm like, I got some money in my travel card, which is Charles Schwab. All right, so I already said automation, high yield savings account, an emergency fund, pay off your credit card debt, and then increase your income as my fifth and final tip. Increase your income asking for a raise or get a side job. So I asked for a raise, I got my raise. And so many of us, especially as Latinos, we're afraid to ask for a raise and afraid to challenge the authority and afraid to have these uncomfortable conversations. But I'm here to tell you to do it, because if you're not going to look out for yourself, nobody else is going to. And your boss is going to assume, hey, you're happy. And you might not even be happy because you want a raise. And it might not even be the raise that you want, but guess what? It's practice for you. So start asking for a raise. Start advocating for yourself. The minute you start learning that, it's going to become easier the next time around, because when it comes around, I'm going to be better prepared. But it's practice. So go ahead and do that. And with that, increase your income asking for a raise. Get a side job. My podcast is my side job. Posting on social media is a side job for me, and I completely enjoy it, but it's also a little business that I have to learn to manage and run. And we'll get into like the business perspective and why it's important and why I feel like everybody should start a business. Not everybody is meant to be a business owner, but everybody should start a business to understand how the rich save on taxes. All right, those were my 5 financial tips. Let's go to my 5 fit tips. All right, let's go. A lot of people are going to hate me for this, but add veggies. Veggies fill you up. They're high in water, so they're gonna make you feel fuller. So eat your veggies. It has so many benefits, so many nutrients. So whether you like carrots, broccoli, spinach, just add more veggies into your diet. You're going to thank me later. Your ass is gonna thank me later, because that's a good source of fiber, right? So next tip, lift weights. Lifting weights is scary, especially for women, and a lot of women are like, I don't want to get bulky. Guess what? I'm here to tell you, you're not going to get bulky. You're not going to get bulky because men out here are lifting heavy as fuck, and they're still not like super bulky. I'm over here squatting 325 pounds. You don't see me still super bulky. Obviously, I have testosterone. Obviously, I'm a man. Obviously, I'm going to develop differently than women, biological women I'm talking about. Like, their body's going to be structured different. And in order to look like a man, you kind of have to lift like a man. So yeah, lift weights. And it has so many benefits. Lifting weights has so many benefits for you. Who's listening, who's viewing on YouTube. Not only is it going to help shape your body, because at the end of the day, you can do cardio and whatnot, and that's gonna make you lose body fat, but at the end of the day, what I feel shapes your body is lifting weights. And then we talk about bone density. So when we get to old age, obviously older people who slip and fall and break a bone, it's like, oh my God, they have weak bones. Yes. So a lot of us growing up told us, hey, drink your milk, drink your calcium, and whatnot in order to fortify your bones. Yes and no. It's only going to affect you very minimal if you drink your milk and drink calcium or take tablets or supplements like that. The biggest way for you to build stronger bones is to lift weights. What lifting weights does, it not only creates micro fractures in your muscles, but it also does the same in your bones, and your body needs to repair it. For those who are listening, for those who are viewing this podcast, if you've broken a bone, regularly the doctors will always tell you like, hey, you broke this bone, but guess what? It's gonna be stronger once it heals. Why? Because it's rebuilding it, like your body literally rebuilds itself, right? So if you're creating micro fractures in your body and in your bones, then guess what? You're gonna gain muscle and you're gonna gain bones. Let me take a quick little break for like 5 seconds because my phone fell. All right, here we go. 1, 2, and I'm back. All right, so let's go ahead and go with another tip. Focus on protein. So many people are like, how do I feel more full, right? If you consume more protein, trust me, you're going to feel more full throughout the day. If you're having trouble trying to start an exercise or start your fitness journey, I always suggest people to park further. Start with little habits, parking a little further, taking the stairs, start creating these habits that in the long run are going to benefit you. So if you're going to a grocery store, park all the way at the end. You're going to thank yourself later. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, it's so far, it's so cold outside, but at least I took extra steps. Start counting your steps. If you do 6,000 a day, see what 8,000 a day will do to your body. See what 10,000 steps would do to your body. It's those little things that you do, in your day-to-day activities that's going to help you in the long run. Think about it. You're working out, if you work out 50, 60 minutes a day, but you still have so many more hours that you're awake and able to move. So start moving. All right, how many tips have I given? Park further, lift weights, add more veggies, focus on protein. Don't eliminate food. Moderation is key. I literally just had a slice of pizza. I had half a slice of pizza actually. Pero no me quedé con las ganas. I don't know how to translate that, but I love food, but I eat it in moderation. I'm not going to eat a whole box anymore because I used to eat a whole box of pizza, but now it's going to be in moderation. I guess an extra tip, and I guess I'll have to give an extra finance tip, would be, oh my God, I lost my train of thought. All right, I'm back. And it's gone again. Oh, okay, people ask me, what's the best form of cardio? People always want to know, and you're probably Googling best cardio to do to lose fat. Guess what? The best cardio to lose fat is the one you like. I can tell you, hey, run because I love running. Hey, do jump rope because I like doing jump rope. Or hey, swim because I like to swim. Those are my preferred methods of cardio, but you probably hate them. And you're probably listening or viewing and saying like, okay, if you like Zumba, do Zumba. If you like walking, go walking. If you like football, if you like dancing, if you like twirling around, if you like walking your dog, do that. The best form of cardio is one that brings you joy. So start doing what makes you happy so it doesn't become a burden and it just becomes a lifestyle. All right? So financial tip number 6, because now I have to give an extra one, is invest. If you paid off your debts, if you feel like you're ready to invest, open up a brokerage account. Whatever brokerage that you open, Ameritrade, Robinhood, Webull, etc., whatever you do, just start messing around and invest. Whether it be $100 or $1 a day, dollar cost averaging, right? But it's better to be in the market than to be out of the market, and I should probably take my own advice because people tell me it's better to buy a house now than wait later. So that's what I'm working on. That doesn't mean I'm perfect or anything. I'm still human and I still have things that I want to accomplish, debt that I want to pay, but invest. It's time in the market. All right. And now I'm going to go ahead and answer your guys' questions. I hope this has been very informative. Make sure to follow us on TikTok. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Echale Podcast. Subscribe to the channel. So, all right. Let me see. Mejor dame $1,000 y ya. Somebody said that. Amigo, te los daría, pero te diría, me los tienes que regresar con interés y no sé si te va a gustar. Entonces tú decide. Then they said, Morris Galvez, FP, when we hitting the gym? Let me know, brother. I love going to the gym. I typically just go to the gym by myself just because I feel like when I go with somebody else, I tend to talk more. O sea, no se me da mucho la platicada, pero I won't focus on the things at hand. Is there any food that will help you lose weight? No. There is not a specific food that will help you lose weight. It's all in moderation. You have to figure out what your maintenance calories are and then slowly but surely start cutting calories. What is all this fitness terminology? Guess what? I'm releasing an ebook at the end of the month. Hopefully, if my designer gets it to me. But that'll be coming soon. General thoughts on life insurance by Noemi Mami. Noemi Mami. Okay, I honestly don't have a lot of information on life insurance. I know a person that could orient you more. I don't even know if I'm using these English words. Orientarte. Lo voy a decir en español. O sea, Morris, he actually has life insurance. I've always thought like life insurance was more for like when you have kids or whatnot, but I do realize that it's something that you can start acquiring even now. But I don't have a lot of information on life insurance. Let me go and check out what people asked on the broadcast channel, because I don't want to make this too long. I feel like I could bore you all. Hopefully not. Hopefully I wasn't all over the place. Let's see. Lidach on Instagram said finance. Well, I gave you 6 financial tips so you can stay rich and stay fit. Bankruptcy. Bankruptcy depends. Did you file a Title 7 or 11? I believe 11, that means you're liquidating your assets, but you're still in business. Title 7 is you're completely bankrupt. You tell the IRS, like, I literally have no money after selling everything. So that's going to be on your credit score for like 7 years. I hope I got my chapters correct, Chapter 11 and Chapter 7. If not, there's always Dr. Google, right? Un quick workout for people that just started working out. So I also do get that a lot. Like, I want a quick workout. The best workout, start walking. Start getting your body used to having a higher elevated heart rate. Obviously, keeping in mind that hopefully you don't have any conditions. I'm talking to the people that don't have any like heart conditions, whatnot. And start off with like squats, like major muscles, squats, deadlifts, chest press, and bicep curls, tricep extensions, and pull-ups. I would say start there and start with what you can. Obviously, pull-ups might be a little hard, so you might want to use a band to assist you to pull up, but slowly but surely start progressing. Bench press, same thing. If you can only do the bar, start with the bar, but slowly but surely do what is called progressive overload. Progressive overload means that as time goes by, you are constantly adding more weight or more repetitions to your set. This is all going to be in my ebook that's coming out at the end of the month. Let me see. Balance transfers with credit cards. I'm barely researching balance transfers. Some credit cards have a 0% balance transfer fee or a $0 transfer fee. I am not knowledgeable enough to tell you do it. That is completely up to you. I don't know enough of it to explain it, but I know people leverage it in order to pay off debt. And I think that's all I'm going to say. How to lose fat. I think I gave you really good financial tips, so keep that into consideration. Not financial tips, fit tips. Oy, Jose. So yeah. But how to lose fat. Make sure you have a good workout that you are consistent with, and 80% of you actually losing fat would be your nutrition. So check your nutrition. All right. So maybe for the first couple of months, you're going to have to track your food. Information about a living trust / will. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I do know that in 2019, and I just checked literally because I found the documents, my parents got a trust for the house. And because, when was it? Was that when Donald Trump was elected or was being elected? Well, I don't know. Anywho, they were like, oh, hell no, el gobierno nos puede quitar todas nuestras cosas. I'm going to go ahead and get a lawyer and do a living trust. It was about $2,000, but I feel like we got everything settled. So definitely get one. I don't have a lot of information on a living trust. I do have somebody that's supposed to come on the podcast to talk about living trust. Motivation tips to start working out. Motivation tips. It's definitely hard, but you have to find that ganas, echale ganas from within, because it has to become a mindset. It can't be a burden for you to want to work out. Like, how badly do you want to live a better and longer life, right? So that's the way I put it. I always see parents saying, like, I would do anything for my kid. I would die for my kid. but would you live for your kid? You know? So start thinking about it that way. Like, how can you change your dietary, your fitness regimen in order to be there and be present for your children? So that's the way I see it. Like, when I'm a father eventually in the future, like, I want to be in the best shape of my life for myself and for my family, because I want to be able to pass down that same love and passion that I have for fitness and health and finance to them, so that they can become a better version of themselves. Like, imagine if what I'm doing right now, and I'm obviously like unlearning a lot of patterns from my parents and their parents, and they're learning a lot of new patterns from me, what I could possibly learn from my future kids, nephews, and, you know, once they're actually here. Pray. How long should you do cardio and weights when you want to lose weight? I would say 30 minutes minimum. You know, if you want to weight lift, 15 minutes cardio, you know, it doesn't take much. As long as you feel the soreness or you feel the tension, you can even start with the bands. There's not a set amount of time, but just to give you an example of my workouts, for example, today's was a leg day. I walked for 20 minutes because I love walking and I love watching TV. So I just have a TV in my garage and I have a treadmill, and, you know, just walking as a warm-up, right? And then I stretch for 5 minutes, and then I start my warm-up sets. So I do 3 sets before I actually start my first working set. All right, so warm-up sets, so that means I have the bar, then I add weights, then I do more squats, then I add a little bit more weights, and then I do squats again. And then I start my actual set, and I'll do 3 sets of that. But I just did today squats, deadlifts, and calf raises. So that's only 3 workouts, or 3 exercises. Yeah, 3 exercises. And that took me an hour. So yeah, it doesn't take a lot. No más tiempo. Obviously, you got to find it. But with that being said, thank you so much for sticking with me for God knows how many minutes. I hope it wasn't long. But don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Make sure to give us a follow. Give us a good review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Make sure you follow us on TikTok, because that's where we're trying to grow. You know, we're trying to monetize from anywhere. Porque queremos salir de pobres. We want to stay fit and stay rich 2024. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Por favor. Because my DMs are dry. Sale. I'll see you in the next episode.